Welcome back to Landburst, the channel where we teach our clients how to make a 6- and 7-figure income through scaling a land flipping business. And today I'm going to talk about how I made $120,000 in profit on just one land deal. Let's get straight into it. So this is a rural recreational property that we bought for $40,000 and sold for $160,000. It took 60 days total to sell. When I was hunting for this deal in the data set, I found a very specific market and area in where properties were consistently selling for a certain price point. So they were consistently going at around $170,000, $175,000, $180,000 after around 90 days. So I saw that and took a very good note of it. I took that data set down and we sent the mail to that area. Now this was, again, rural recreational property, more so specifically property for cattle grazing, hunting, things of that nature, as opposed to building or anything like that. And on average, the kind of deals that we do in our company are rural recreational deals. With those kind of deals, we see a lot more profit. Those kind of deals are much easier to get done as opposed to residential properties. Even though I do like doing deals where you can build on the properties, you do find that with rural recreational properties, the due diligence period is a lot less. The buyers are a lot easier to deal with. The contingencies are a lot less. Even the sellers, on the seller side, it's a lot easier to deal with those people. It just is, because there's not all these other intricacies involved with that. So we sent out the mail and sent out around 10,000 mailers to this specific area. And after around a week or so, I got a call back from a seller who was living in Los Angeles, and he had actually inherited the property and he had never seen the property before. So he called saying, hey, listen, I got an offer here for around $34,000. I want $40,000. I checked the comps and I was like, yeah, last time I checked this, we can sell these for $170,000, $180,000. So I agreed to the $40,000 right away. This was actually a really easy, clear-cut, cookie-cutter deal. It really was. But I remember accepting. I was like, cool. I sent him the contract. But then I sent him the contract, and then it took him quite a while to sign. It took him a few weeks to sign. Oh, I got to go to the doctor's appointment. Oh, I got to do this with my wife. Oh, I got to do that. All these excuses. Excuse. So it took a few weeks for me to actually get the deal under contract. But that's the power in follow-up. You see, a lot of guys will not follow up when they're doing deals, and you have to understand that if you call once and the seller says, oh, I can't do it right now, you need to call 100 more times. I'm going to keep calling the seller until they accept my offer, until they sign the agreement, until we close. I'm going to keep calling unless you explicitly tell me I do not want to sell, absolutely not. And even then, I'm still going to put you in the follow-up sequence. You're still going to go in the follow-up sequence. That's what you guys have to realize. Deals and money is to be made in the follow-up. And if you don't follow up, you have a problem. You're not going to maximize your money, and you're not really going to build wealth with land flipping. You guys have to realize that the key is in the follow-up. So I followed up with the seller multiple times every day because I'm like, we can sell this property for 100% more than what we're buying it for. So I'm going to keep calling him over and over and over again. I called him, I called his wife, I sent emails, I sent texts daily. I'm calling. From the time that he called to the time that we actually closed on the property, it probably took around 3 weeks to actually close it. And that was just really follow-up. So a lot of the time what you guys will see is you may agree to a seller's price, and then for some reason they have other life things that kind of hit them and start happening to them. And that's when you guys really have to follow up. Now, most oftentimes, I try to make sure that when I'm on the phone, I actually send the contract and go over it with the seller. But what you find in some of these seller profiles that I go over, they are very analytical. So this was a very analytical guy. He was actually a doctor as well. So he's an analytical guy. So he wants to look at it, take his time, sit with his wife, let me print it out. A little bit of an older guy, okay, let me print it out. Let me actually look at it. Let me review it with my lawyer, all that stuff. So my company makes sure that we send it to them via DocuSign over the phone and then actually walk them through it so that they feel comfortable with us. So we walk them through all the clauses, everything that we're gonna do. If it's earnest money, closing date, expiration date, anything. All of our clauses, we break them down to the seller. And sometimes they still say, you know what, I still wanna go over this with my wife, and then we set a follow-up. So make sure you guys are always setting follow-ups because that's how you get big deals like these. So it took around 3 weeks to actually get the deal done, and after that 3 weeks, we closed on the property. Now, every single time I close on a property, I always have my exit strategy already lined up. So broker, marketing materials. So everything is lined up so that we can sell the property as fast as possible. For this property, I did use a local broker to field land leads, but we actually got our own drone shots and own photos on this property. Especially with properties like these that are more rural recreational properties, you really want to try to capture the essence of the property and get a buyer thinking of what could I potentially do with this property. So we try to get all shots that will encapsulate something like that. So I'm trying to get overhead shots, I'm getting shots from the ground, I'm getting video overlays, I'm getting absolutely everything that I can to market this property up to its best potential. And then even in my listing description, is portraying exactly who I'm trying to attract with that listing and with that property. So we bought this property for $40,000 and listed it at $160,000. And for the first 2 weeks, I would say that we didn't get any bites. However, the interest was very high. So this property had thousands of views and multiple saves. So that's always a good tracker for us. So sometimes we hold steady on that. I knew that 160,000 was a little bit under the comps that I was seeing, which is why I listed at 160. But I knew a realistic exit was $140,000, in which case I still would have made $100,000 on that deal. However, I started at 160 because we were confident that we could exit at 160 within a fast time frame. After a few weeks, we did start to get some offers in, but they weren't offers that were really in alignment with what I wanted. We're getting offers at 80,000, 90,000, but I just knew, and the broker told us as well. She kept saying, just wait a little bit. I know we'll get something. I know we will. So we did wait a little bit longer on this one because I wanted to maximize, and we were still in the timeline of that 60-day period when we were starting to get offers. Now you guys have to understand, when it comes to pricing your properties on the market, I'm always going week by week and deciding if we should price drop or not, depending on the timeline. Because I really don't want to go longer than 60 days, but if we're going longer than 90 days, then that's a complete failure. So I'm not trying to go longer than 60 days at all. So week by week, we're monitoring. Week by week, we're talking to the broker. We're getting how many calls happened this week, how many showings happened this week, how many leads did we have, what exactly is going on with this property, and do we need to drop the price? Do we need to be more aggressive, or are we just right? So we were doing that weekly, and the broker just kept saying, just trust me, we'll have an offer. Eventually, we did get an offer from a cattle company at $160,000 cash to close within 30 days. This was a cattle company that owned hundreds of thousands of acres across America. What this deal taught me is that you really can go into a data set and find the exact deals that you're looking for and the exact profits that you're looking for. It really does become up to you to talk to the seller and follow up with them, because the opportunities will come in the mail. It's up to you to know how to identify those opportunities and how to actually have the conversations that will lead to profits in your bank account. If you can have the consistency to talk to a seller and follow up over and over and over again and have the quality conversations, you will get deals like this. Even though this deal was about me going in and finding comparables and going through data, it was way more about me following up with the seller and having the quality conversation with him over and over again and actually making him feel comfortable in the fact that I would close. Now you guys have to understand the skill of being the best data analyst in the world pales in comparison to being the best acquisition person on the phone. If you can be a savant on the phone, you'll close deals consistently. You really will. So a lot of people are so focused on the data, and that's very important. It is. But again, it pales in comparison to being an absolute savant on the phone. If you can practice that consistently, you'll make money forever. If you want to learn how to do deals like this, the Landverse Masterclass will teach you everything you need to know to consistently get six-figure deals just like this one. Make sure to sign up for the Landverse Masterclass waitlist. The link is below. If you guys want more land deal breakdowns, make sure to drop me a comment below. Make sure to like and subscribe and join our free Discord community as well. Thank you for watching Landverse, and I'll see you next time.